Welcome to Spill the Cafecito, where every cafecito comes with a real conversation.
And we're serving up honest talk on culture, relationships, music, life, and everything in between, all with a little Latino flavor.
So grab a cafecito.
And let's spill. Hi, JP.
Hi, Anthony.
How are you?
I'm good. Episode motherfucking 6.
6.
I
feel like we're going to say that every week because it feels like
people
a
are probably
milestone.
annoyed, like, here they go. It's saying every episode, yes.
But it's kind of a big deal because, like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's very common for podcasts to stick around for that long. Usually people get tired because they realize now by this point it's a lot of work and they're not used to doing all the work. They just think it's about recording and putting it online, but that's like the very beginning of it.
Yeah. I've been having a conversation with the folks and they're like, how much prep does it go to like record something? I'm like, recording is probably the easiest part. I feel like we have like it down once we like discuss like a topic for the day. Like that part is very easy. I don't want to say easy. There's definitely like a craft to it. But the part that becomes kind of more not challenging, but it's just like picking the reels and picking the content that we want to like showcase kind of like the episode
To promote it, yeah.
Correct, and really like highlight what the episode was about, but also capture our shadiness in a good light.
I think what we try to do is capture the spirit of what we're doing, but not give you everything, because what we really want is for you to watch on YouTube or subscribe through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast streamed and listen to it in its entirety.
Correct.
The clips that we share are they're just that, they're clips, right? And so we really want you to get the full fantasy. And the only way we're going to do that is if you subscribe or if you watch us on YouTube. So this is just a really quick way to get you hooked in, hopefully. And more importantly, I would say, please make sure you share the content.
Full fantasy? What are you giving over there?
Well, I'm just saying,
I'm not giving any extra bits. I know you've been trying every episode to get something out.
Me in long jeans today. It's because I'm actually, the AC's been on here all day and I was cold. But how are you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was actually not bad. The highlight of my weekend was actually meeting up with, I think that was Sunday, with a group of friends, the same game friends that I talked to you about.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe like 6 or 7 of them would show up because like I mentioned in our previous episode about relationships, these are friends that I don't necessarily check in all the time. We mainly connect with there's an event or a game night.
Okay.
So I'm like, maybe 6 of them will show up, but like everybody there was 12 people in that restaurant, and I'm just like, oh, this is kind of
to a restaurant.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, we went out to a restaurant for dinner.
Just on a whim, just because.
They have so one of them had planned it, but like I said,
okay.
I didn't think too much of it, thinking to myself like, these are not like the core group friends. These are not anyone that I'm like my sounding boards. These are people that I hang out, I have a really good time with.
Yeah,
they're really good people, a really good vibe. But like I said, it's a different type of friendships. But they all like showed up, and it was like really nice to just kind of spend some kind of like quality time, and just we had good laughs, good food. And
where'd you go to eat?
We went to Center Square Grill in East Lagmeadow.
Is it East Side Grill? It's in a plaza.
It's in a plaza,
with
yes.
Starbucks and a bunch
yes,
of
yes.
I've been there a couple times. When we've gone out to have like team outings when I was in compliance, we would normally go there.
Okay, so the food was terrific.
Yeah, it's a good place,
and it was just a nice time. Like I said, my birthday's coming up in like 2 days. I need to shout out my mother. It's my mother's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, mommy!
So I sent her a little note earlier about happy birthday, mommy. If you're listening, doubt you are, but
you never know.
Here I am. She might be stalking me, but I love you, mommy.
I love that you called it stalking when she's your literal mother.
Your mother can stalk you.
Can she? She get birth
yes.
to? Is that really stalking? She's
I
just
feel like
up on you.
She can hate on you. She can stalk you. She could do lots of things.
I'm sure she can. Happy birthday.
But no, mommy, I love you and happy birthday. But how about you? What was like the highlight of like your weekend?
Well, my weekend, this past weekend, was very much like the previous weekend where I was just not feeling well. I'm much better now. I'm in much better spirits. In fact, right after we recorded last Thursday, not even like a minute or two after you left, my body seized up and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just not well. And it lasted up until like maybe Tuesday. But the highlight of my weekend, all things considered, was going to the New England Aquarium with my cousins and their kids and my partner.
I love aquariums.
They yeah, I love them too.
Yeah.
I really do like being around like the water and around like the animals and such, but it's so rare that my family ventures out of Hartford to do things. But my cousin's son turned 19 and she had been wanting to go to the aquarium for so long, especially when he was a little kid. So when she called me and said, "Hey, we're going to be in Boston. Do you want to hang out?" It didn't matter how I felt. I was going to make it work. And so we spent a few hours on Saturday doing that, and it was a blast. I loved it.
Yeah, I love aquariums. I can go. I've been to so many aquariums. It's kind of like crazy to even think about. There was
What's your
one,
favorite one?
the one in Atlanta.
Really?
Oh, that was a beautiful.
Okay.
Like it's one of my favorites. And it's top. The only thing I didn't get to see when I was there was the whale shark, which is a
Okay.
humongous. I mean, but I was trying to do the most after like a work conference,
Yeah.
and I was just running out of time. So that's probably like the most memorable one that I've been
I
to.
think my favorite by default is probably Mystic Aquarium. That's probably the one that I've gone to the most. And then
It has
I
the
call it,
beluga whales, right?
see, I don't really know, but I love the jellyfish installations. I don't know why, but every time I see the jellyfish, I'm transfixed. You can't pull me
Mm-hmm.
away fast enough. It's so much fun. And then the Boston Aquarium, which I think is New England Aquarium. And I've also been to one in Montreal that was pretty cool.
Oh,
Mhm.
you went to Canada?
Yeah, several times.
Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't. That's on my bucket
You've
list.
never been to Canada?
No, no, no,
It's
no,
such an
no.
easy drive. I mean, I say easy drive. It's like 6 hours north, but 6.5 hours north. Yeah, I mean, it's a short flight if you wanted to ever do that. It's
I'll catch a
fun.
flight. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm.
Have you ever been to Niagara Falls?
No,
Oh my
no,
God.
no, no. I have
Okay.
not been up there.
You got some things to do in
It's
the
on my list.
States.
Oh, we have a lot to do.
Part of the
We gotta
problem
travel.
is like I like to travel, but when I like to travel, I don't like to travel in the States. I like to travel
Yeah, that's
outside.
same. And I'm starting that. I mean, we both are going literally to Europe within like a month,
Yeah. Isn't
which
that
is crazy to
wild?
even think about.
Yeah. I need to start, like, if you go to my room right now, it's kind of a mess because I'm starting to pull things out that I want to bring and I need to
Yeah,
figure out
I
mentally where I
haven't even
am.
done that. We just booked the final like short excursions because I'm going via well, I'm hitting up some of the places in Europe via a cruise. So
Yeah.
I'm like still booking like short excursions, last
What are
minute
you looking to
things.
do?
The most.
I
Everything.
love that.
I signed up for a lot of like sightseeing in terms of like seeing different locations and not really visiting them inside because I'm hoping to at least capture like when I'm in Rome, I want to capture some of the highlights, but I want to return and do like a full trip in Italy.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to just get like a tease of everywhere and then be like, oh, let me pencil that in for like next
Yeah.
year.
For
Like,
more of a deeper dive.
yes. So I'm doing
Okay.
that, but I am spending a couple of days in Barcelona, which I am
I've never been.
oh my God, I'm looking forward to. I I'm gonna visit the Sagrada Familia, which is that big,
That is such a. Is it still under construction? I
gorgeous.
feel
It
like
just
it's.
finished, which is why I'm
How
so
long has it
excited.
been?
Oh
Like
God, years,
hundreds of years?
years,
Oh my
years,
God.
years. But I'm like, and I think they had like finished and then started doing some restoration. Like, so it's
Yeah.
like I get to see it and it's finally in its full glory, and I'm like really excited. And also there's a park called Park Güell, which is by a famous artist. I'm blanking on the name, but beautiful, whimsical architecture
Yeah.
that I'm really excited to go see. So
I'm excited
I'm
for you.
yeah,
I've always wanted to go to Madrid and Barcelona, and at some point I'll prioritize that. We were trying to think about what we're doing next year, and we've already got our kind of trip planned out. It's
already for next
Well, we
year.
got invited to a wedding in Mexico, so we're kind of doing that. We usually go to the Dominican Republic for a week.
I remember
We're
that.
going to Amsterdam also in
Ooh,
April,
the
which
Red
I've only
District.
been to. I'm not doing the red light. We're going with kids, so that's
We're
not happening.
not
No, no, absolutely not.
just to we can watch. We can
No,
watch.
it's not my gig. Absolutely not.
What you mean? It
No.
gives. So you're
Have you
trying to
done it?
give in this episode? No.
How are you gonna tell me to give, but you don't even do it yourself? Like, girl, bye. We're going with kids, so like for me, like I guess if you do it late at night, but like
Oh, you
I
didn't say
don't.
that. I was
I
like,
literally just said that we're
did
gonna be
you?
there with kids, so
I
that's why I'm
skipped that
like, no.
part. I heard Amsterdam, and all I can think about is like, I hate in the Red
Rewind.
District.
Just kidding. We're not doing that. But we're doing that next year as well. But I also want to prioritize going to Puerto Rico because it's been at least 5 years since I've gone, and I really want to go back and experience it with him. You know,
Yeah.
it's just been it's a different vibe when you go with someone that you care for. Even though I've never gone by myself, and at one point I kind of want to do that, but I don't feel like Puerto Rico is a place where I would do by myself. I would want to experience it with other people.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening next year. But I love to travel, so I can't wait to go to Italy.
I
We're
know.
booking a lot of excursions right now, a lot of museum tours, things like that. But
Same.
it's I've been to Rome a couple of times, so we're not doing Rome as deeply as I've done before. We're doing more of the Amalfi Coast, which is, if you've never been, it is quite literally the most beautiful place on earth.
Oh, I'm so
So when
excited
we
for
see it,
you.
it's gonna
I'm so
be
I take lots
amazing.
of pictures and share them.
Girl, we met. You better bring your camera. I
I
want to
am.
see.
I am. No,
Part of what
we're
I love about photography is seeing the world through other people's eyes, right?
and capturing those moments people
Exactly.
forget about. And you and I have talked about. There's
hmm
many moments where like, oh yeah, I forgot about like we did that or like we
You know,
experienced that.
it's interesting because a lot of people will say, you shouldn't really bring your camera. You should be more in the moment. And if you're going to bring your camera, make sure that you don't snap a ton of pictures. Every one of my partners or husbands have said that before. And every time they see the pictures, I hear the same thing. Thank you so much for taking the photos because I forgot about this. This is such an excellent trip, blah, 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 blah. And that's great. I still can be in the moment and take a ton of photos, but I'm not living on my phone or on my camera either. I'm
Yeah.
soaking it in.
Yeah.
I'm breathing the air and I'm experiencing things, but I love being able to rewind time afterwards and see what I once saw
Yeah.
because I know how my brain is set up. And the moment I'm away from that and I'm into something else, like my brain capacity can only hold so much. I will forget. And seeing my photography afterwards is just fun. I look at things that I did when I was 30 years old, when I went to Europe by myself, but with family and my past partner and friends. And when I see these things, I'm like, whoa, I can't believe I was there or that I saw that. I forgot that I saw this famous
Yeah.
painting or that I was in this space that was once, inhabited by X, Y, and Z. Seeing Shakespeare's childhood home. Like I forgot that I did that.
That's
You know what I mean?
crazy.
Like I was
Yeah.
in his bedroom.
That's why I love traveling. I feel like part of it is really is walking in the same steps that like all these like history has occurred. And Europe is like not to say that United States is not full of that, because of course, like
But
if you
we're
go
250 years old. This
correct.
goes back thousands of
Oh
years,
yes, yes.
right?
Which is why I'm also looking forward to like Greece. That's like my
Ooh,
other list. I'm
yeah.
so
Where in
excited to
Greece are you
like
going?
we still aren't in the details of figuring out where,
Yeah.
but one of my friends is like booking everything and we'll figure out all the logistics, but
I
I'm like
did
really excited.
Athens, and I would say,
I heard it was dirty.
well, I mean, it's like a lot of major cities.
Don't come for me, Greece
No, I
people.
mean,
I'm like,
that's what you heard. I've experienced Athens.
yeah,
It is a city of 5 million people. Well, it's supposed to be a city for 5 million people, but they get 30 million tourists a year. So that tells you something. And everying's super tightly packed. That's not
yeah,
to say it's not beautiful or doesn't have its moments of beauty. There's certainly great architecture and there's certainly a lot of ruins there, Athenian ruins. But I mean, I agree. Every major city that you go to has its dirty bits
yeah.
and
I mean, I've
smells
been
and
to
whatnot.
Paris, and believe me, there was some areas that I'm like, not for me
You know, the one city I've been to on Earth that is not dirty, Tokyo.
at all.
Go to Japan.
The alleys,
Go to Japan, JP. There is no
the
trash on the
brothels.
street. Do they even I don't even think they have brothels. There's no dirt, grime, graffiti, bad smells, nothing like that in Tokyo. I
Really,
promise you that.
it's on my list.
It is.
It's on my list.
I didn't think I would even have a good time or want to go there.
Yeah,
And now after having been there, I'm like I'm obsessed. I don't know why more people don't go there other than obviously it's half a world away.
yeah. How long was the flight?
We flew from Boston to Seattle, and that was like 5.5, 6 hours. And then from Seattle to Tokyo, which is like maybe 12 or 13.
Oh, so it's not
It's really not that bad. It
terrible.
sounds worse than it really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But I will say I was a little spoiled. I went on Delta One. So I could lay flat and go to sleep. Most people are in like comfort. Well, they're not business class or either main economy. So they're just upright sitting
So
for
she has coins, is what you're saying.
listen, I will say I was spoiled. I didn't buy it myself. So it was one of those things where I was blessed to have had that. And then I had a back injury like 3 days into the trip that I had to basically muster my way through.
Mm.
And on the way back, the lay flat seats, while helpful, it was just like agony. Laying down where I had deep back pain, it was just,
Oh, now you needed an actual.
I needed
seat.
it. I needed
Yeah.
something because for
Yeah.
months straight after that, I could barely breathe without just like it being
It
in
bothering
pain.
you?
And I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I don't know what the hell I did. A pinched nerve or something. I have no idea. But I went to a chiropractor. They helped adjust me. It was pretty bad for a little while.
Oh, gee.
But without that bed, I don't even know how I would have survived. And it was pretty rough on the bed. But yeah, so
What travels? What
long way of
travels?
saying we had a great weekend, or I had a
Correct.
great weekend, all things considered. Health was still on the rocks, but I'm doing better now.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, like you seem like you're doing better, and I
Yeah.
know I talked about earlier, and you are doing better than where you were even 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, my
So,
God, it's been rough.
but let's completely pivot because I feel like we gotta get. We're trying to do better on time.
Yeah, I feel like we're
Because
doing
you and I,
okay.
we are. So 15 minutes. So I think we can transition over to our hot spills or our hot takes. Do you have some that you want to
I
do
actually
today?
don't. I want to hear
Oh, you
yours.
want to hear
Yes,
mine?
I
Oh
do.
my god! All right, so I'm about to be canceled in the next 20 seconds of my life, but let's do it.
The
Let's do it.
cancellation of
The
JP.
cancellation of JP.
That'll
Which
be
one
your
should I
album
do?
name.
Which one should I be canceled for? Oh, this one's really good.
Okay.
Graveyards are a waste of space.
Graveyards are a waste of space. Do I agree with that? Yes. There's someone. Do you hear that?
I
There's
hear
like
it.
somebody
I
yelling outside. I
hear
have no idea what's going on.
That's the heckler. They're like, "What do you mean?"
I agree actually, and I think this kind of dovetails into the topic that we're gonna be talking about,
Mm-hmm.
which is about religion. But when I think about what you just said, why? Okay, so talk to me why it's a hot take. Why do you think it's a hot spill?
I feel because of the religious component with folks who talk about, God is going to come back in, Judgment Day, and He's going to resurrect you and use the body, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it also folks like to talk about it in the sense of like, so where do you go to grieve? Because it's when someone loses someone, in a big tragedy, then like they don't get that space for them to be able to do that.
Yeah,
And my argument is number one,
go
and you
off.
can cancel me if you want. If I am to believe, and I'm not saying I'm an atheist or that I do believe in God, but what I am saying, if He's supposed to be this all powerful, all good, you tell me that He needs a human body to resurrect you, Mister. I can create anyone from dust. One. Number two, and you can
JP.
cancel me if you want. Number two, um, the space that it takes, I feel like you can do so much more with. And the
Yeah,
fact that people think that you can't grieve without having like a place to do that, because I feel like you can grieve anyone anywhere. I feel like there's people who like to visit graves and that's good for them, but like I don't know if it's like a requirement for like grieving or for remembering, because I grew up and what I kept hearing my grandmother and even like my family members are like, people truly die when you forget them. So it's not about like you need it for like to remember, you know, in a gravestone to remember them. It's really like how you keep them in your heart. So if we're gonna go with that argument, and my grandmother can cancel me because she was the one who taught me this,
work.
um, then I don't know. We're probably the only species that has like. I mean, I guess there's pet cemeteries. I don't know how many of them are out there. Maybe in movies, but
Love the
like
movie.
we're the only living organism that does this, and I feel like there is a religious component, which like good for you. But I don't think if I'm going to believe you're
Yeah.
all powerful, then it's given Thriller.
Work. I agree actually with all that you said. Growing up, we were raised Catholic, even though we were not devout by any means and we didn't go to church. In fact, I was probably the only one in my family long term that went to church. And it was an Episcopal church that I went to simply because I sang in their choir. But even beyond that, we were taught that when you die, or even before you die, you should buy a plot of land at a local cemetery because when you die, that's where you should be buried. Because when the rapture happens, your soul will be placed back in your body and you'll be brought into heaven or blah blah blah. Don't even quote me on the specificity of that because I just don't know, and
Yeah.
frankly, I don't care because I don't subscribe to a lot of that anymore. But when you're young, you're taught all these things and you believe it to be real because your elders are telling you. And so what I've noticed was, a bunch of cemeteries are not really kept up that well. Tombstones get forgotten about. They're not cleaned up. It just looks
Where's the
not cool.
space?
And not just that, but like, for what? To what end? At some point,
It's gone. The body's
hundreds of
gone.
years of, like the
Dust.
right. So then what do? Dig them up and put someone else in there? It just seems like such a morbid thing to do.
Yeah.
But I will say on the flip side, like when I went to Puerto Rico back in like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
I saw where my father was buried. And because they're under the sea level, no one gets buried in Puerto Rico. Everyone's got an above ground tomb or you're put in some sort of mausoleum. And so my dad shares a grave with his grandfather. And after, I'm going to say 20 or 25 years, you're exhumed and then your remains are then cremated and put in a little what they call a panteon, and they put it right back in the same
Mm-hmm.
above ground tomb, which to me makes no sense. I mean, at that point, like my father's been dead over 40 years. Take his remains, cremate them, and put them wherever, and make space for someone else.
Correct.
If we're going to go ahead and follow the
Continue to do that.
tradition of burying people, because
Yeah.
there's no shortage of people that die, and the island is so small, space is at a premium.
Also, funerals are expensive. I just
Yeah.
want to say that. And people like go into debt literally burying their loved ones.
Which, I mean, in our community specifically, like we don't have enough life insurance. We don't prepare enough for death. And
Nope.
when people in our family die, you usually have to like crowd fund funerals, which is crazy. Or to your point, people just go into massive debt.
Yeah.
I just don't think, I'm just not, I'm weird. Not that I'm like superstitious, but I also don't like being in a graveyard. It just makes me feel uneasy, like I'm disrespecting the dead,
Yeah.
even though I know they're gone and who cares.
It's just morbid, and I don't know. I've always pushed for like I want to be cremated, and my family is just like,
Me
no,
too.
you want to be buried, you got to be buried, you got to be buried, and I'm like, well, not if my documents say otherwise. I'm not going to be buried.
Well, you know what's interesting? Like, obviously, I've been married a couple of times,
Yeah.
and I'm with a partner now. It's more a long-term relationship now that we're approaching 4 years. But in every family that I've been in, they talk about, hey, we should get a plot of land, or make sure that you put money aside for this plot of land. And my family does the same thing. And I'm like, where would I get buried if I were going to be buried? With my partner and his family? With my family? What if I have kids? Do we put our own thing together? Like, these things can be a little iffy to
Yeah.
talk about. And so where I've landed on is I don't care to be buried. Put me in the trash can and throw me away. I
Not the trash.
like, I just don't care.
Not the trash can. The ocean. The ocean.
I don't even, honestly, JP, I truly don't
The ocean's
care.
gorgeous. This is the ocean.
I really don't care. And here's why.
What?
I'm not here. So
That's
why does
my
it matter?
thing. That's my thing. I'm like, remember me when I was living, and like keep me in your heart, and like that's the way that I will forever stay alive in your heart. But like, I don't.
I don't
that.
even care about that. I'm so
You're like, I'm dead. I'm gonna
like,
move on.
I've been thinking about this a lot, obviously, because you know
You ain't dying. What you mean you be thinking about this?
No, I have, because
Oh, well, you're a
literally,
particular age.
Dolly Parton just fuck you. Dolly Parton just passed away a couple days ago. Tim Curry passed away. The voice of Optimus Prime just passed away. There's been so many deaths recently. Hayden Panettiere. There's been so much happening in the past like week or two that it's really got me thinking about like, how do I want to be remembered, and what do I want to be known for? And what I got to thinking was, yeah, if I'm a good person on Earth and people are impacted by that, I love that.
Yeah.
But after I die, I don't care about leaving some profound legacy. I don't care. Whatever money I have, split it, give it to whoever. Like, I'm not here anymore.
People fight for money. It's disgusting.
So you have to leave specific instructions, right?
Correct.
But the point I'm trying to make is like, I don't care. I really don't. So cremate me is all I want. Spread my ashes whoever my executor feels
and don't waste the space in the graveyard.
And don't put it in a graveyard, because who cares?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Can we pivot? Because I think you mentioned like Dolly Parton and the losses of all these. Like what's your like initial reaction? I know it's like been a couple of days now.
Well, we were just having discussion in one of our meetings today about this, but I didn't grow up with Dolly Parton like other people did. I didn't grow up with Tim Curry like other people did. Yeah, I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show as a kid, and it didn't sit well with me because it was just so different than what I knew growing up. It just wasn't for me. Dolly's music, I didn't start getting into her music until I was maybe 22, 23 years old. And so while I'm not as distraught as maybe other people are, I recognize the impact that they had in people's lives, and I respect the talent that they brought to the table and how good they were at their craft, and just the amount of love that they've displayed and showed the LGBTQ communities of color. So that I will always respect and admire. But I'm not one of these people that are so distraught by the devastating loss. But I understand why they would be.
Yeah.
But then like I had a conversation with my friend Dita, and she was like, what if Mariah Carey passed away? And I was like, shut your whore mouth. Don't you ever say that, right? However,
she's eternal.
But right? But if she passed away, I think it would be the same way. Would it hurt? Of course. She's a fixture in my life in many respects. But we're all human. We don't make it out of here alive. That's something you can't.
Yeah.
So like, what am I gonna do? Mourn someone that I don't even know?
I mean, you can still feel sad. You can mourn. Yes, yeah, you can.
But like, I don't believe in wasting so much energy or spending, I don't want to call it a waste, spending so much energy mourning someone's loss like that, when what I would rather do is celebrate the life by playing the music and supporting the art and supporting the craft. To me, it's more about taking the feeling and putting it towards something more positive.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can see that. I
But
can see
how
that.
did you get affected by it?
I feel like very similar. I am not like the biggest Dolly Parton like musical fan in terms of like her music. I can't like name you off like 20 songs. Um, but I do remember, and I think they always say this, like what people feel like. I feel like she was definitely one of those like is a light and loved by many, and if not all, because I feel like she lived her life in a sense of like not pureness, but with like intention and love, and she will call a spade a spade. And people were not mad at her. She was one of those human beings that can say, Black Lives Matter, and like no one was pissed at her. Like no one was jumping down her throat.
Yeah.
Because she had like that, I don't know, just like that light. And I can't describe it because it's literally like one of those
Like
individuals
I
that carry
can't
that.
name one person that was like, "Oh, I don't like Dolly Parton."
Correct. You
Like
might
if
say like
anyone
I don't
ever
know her
said that,
music, but you never say I dislike Dolly Parton because of A, B, and
if
C.
anyone ever said that, I would be like, "You're not a human being. Like, how does that even work?"
Correct. Correct. Like, what's not to like? This woman is like,
She's a literal saint.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and Tim Curry, I don't remember too many of his movies besides like Rocky Horror, which I've seen probably in the last couple of years.
Mhm.
I am a horror film, so I remember him from the movie The It,
I
which
do
was
remember the
like,
movie It.
I mean, like
Terrified me.
exactly. I'm traumatized as a kid, but like now I love horror, and like he is like the number one when I
I don't
look
care
at.
for clowns because of him. Truth story.
No truth. So I remember him from that.
Yeah.
And just like I know that he meant a lot for our community. And I know that he made people who often get looked at as weird or strange or like not out of this world, as some people would put it, seem like not don't excuse me, don't want to use the word normal, but just seem just like part of this world.
Yeah.
And I think like there's something to be said about those two human beings. Um, both carrying like a light, and I feel like that's what I attract. I like what they stand for, and I like some of the art forms that I saw.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure,
I think
that's
anytime you lose someone that has put forth so much positivity, it feels like the world's light just got a little dimmer.
yeah, yeah. Now Hayden Panettiere, that one took me a little bit because I did watch a lot of her movies, TV shows. I remember like Heroes, I was like
I
super
loved
into.
Heroes.
Nashville, she was
Didn't really watch it.
phenomenal. You gotta watch that show. I mean, like even if you don't like country music,
I mean, I probably won't, but
all right.
not because I don't like her. It's just
But she's, I don't know. I feel like everything that I would watch her, she was just terrific at. And it was just sad. And I feel like that one of the last interviews that I watched with her, I can see there was a lot of pain there. And I'm attributing, suicide or calling it what it was, because like I don't think anyone knows
no
at
one
this
knows
point.
yet.
But I did see that there was a lot. I saw myself in a lot of her because I saw that she was going through a lot with her mother, and I feel like, oh, that's something that I've been.
Yeah.
I saw the challenge of having to be on for other people,
Mhm.
and I feel like I've been guilty of that. Of like, I have to provide other people certain things, and I'm not meeting my own needs and
Yeah.
the sacrifice that comes with that. So I'm like, I saw a lot of like things, a lot of myself in her, and I'm just like, which is why I was just like, oh no. But
Yeah, that was a sad one. I mean, again, I didn't like I saw her work, but I wasn't super attached to her like
yeah,
other people were. So
yeah,
when I heard the news, I was like, oh
it's just
well,
sad.
it's really sad
It's just
because she
sad.
was so young.
Yeah,
She
of
still had
course.
a
Oh yeah, yeah. I think she
ton
was
of life
probably like
ahead of
my
her.
age.
Yeah,
I think she was like
what she was probably
30.
36, 37.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
So
gonna
she
be
was
36 in a few days.
36, correct.
Yeah, I mean, very, very young still.
Just you just naming my years here.
I mean,
I'm gonna start
you're
naming yours.
approaching
I'm
40.
gonna be
You're gonna be, but
approaching.
isn't that crazy though? Like, how do you
Approaching.
feel about approaching 40?
You are so shady.
It's not
What
shady,
do you
but it's the
mean
truth.
approaching
I'm
40?
I'm almost in my mid 40s. I'm approaching 50.
Middle age.
These are middle ages. So, but like, how does that make you feel?
How does that make me feel? It makes me feel old. Number one, but quite
These
honestly,
motorcycles are doing the most.
they are doing the most. It makes me feel old, but I've gotten to a space in my life where I'm coming into my own, and
Yeah.
I love my skin, and I love like I mean like I'm not aging. I'm doing really well, but I mean like I like being. What I'm trying to say that I'm comfortable more in my skin than I've ever been in my
Yeah.
life. So I'm actually looking forward to like as years progress, because they do say that you get more and more comfortable, and kind of like your place in life, and things start to like lock in terms of like things that you wonder about. So I feel like I'm the most me if I've been.
I will say people have told me over and over again, your 40s are the best decade, and so far it has been for me.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I feel bad for Hayden Panettiere. She
I know.
didn't get to that point. She's
Yeah.
so young. Like, I could
Yeah.
understand Dolly and Tim Curry and other people that died at 80. I'm not saying that your life was over. You still have some time left,
Of course.
but they've accomplished so much. So their passing to me was like devastating and heartbreaking. And at the same time, they lived a pretty full life.
Yeah. 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 And yeah. I have another hot take.
Do you want to
Go
do
for
another
it.
one? Or do you want to get two? Because we've already been talking for 30 minutes.
You tell me.
I think we should probably go into the concept of religion and then maybe save that one for next week.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
So, I mean, the hot spill was about graveyards and them being a waste of space. And we touched on it, but religion has a lot to do with it.
Correct.
So, talk to me about your religious experiences growing up, if any. How were you brought into religion? Did you attend church? Talk to me about how all that worked for you.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna turn back the pendulum to like Puerto Rico, because that's my first interactions with the church, or the Catholic Church, because my family, I won't say they're the most religious individuals, but they took like the practices very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And like often I would hear like my grandmother quoting the Bible, or saying, this, or like giving advice based on. So I remember, mm, I mean, I don't remember my baptism, but I was baptized Catholic.
As a baby?
So I have, yes, and I have like two in Puerto Rico. We do like two sets of like godparents. So I have like what they're called water godparents, or the agua is what they call
See.
it. Um, and then I have ones that are done in the church. So I have two sets of
Yep.
them in Puerto Rico.
I had that too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, which I always find that fascinating, because I'm like, I struggle with the word godparent now, as I am a godparent to multiple kids, because of the religion component of it, but I like the tradition of being part of a child's life and being like a guiding,
So talk to
light.
the people though about like what a godparent is supposed to be in the church from that perspective. Like what's the responsibility there?
I think the ask is a lot. You're supposed to be like, if God forbid something, God forbid, if God forbid something happens to the main parent, you're supposed to be like helping out. And I'm not talking about just like pick them up on the weekends. It's like you potentially can have this kid with you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a financial component to that, and there is a nurturing component to that, which, yeah. So I feel like there's definitely like a sense of responsibility there. The type of godparents that I feel like I want to be is more like another adult that you can like, a sounding board, a friend. I don't have enough coins for that. I
You're
don't
like,
have
my
my own
coins are for
kids.
me.
Correct.
You get your own coin.
Correct. But yeah, so I was baptized. I remember then going to church, and we would do like, Catholic courses, where I would go as being like 6 or 7 years old, and like we had like a teacher, which we did like religious studies.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of it, because I was a kid, so I'm like, I was essentially spoon fed all these content that I honestly can't recall today of what exactly, but I remember the sense of community, and that's what I always remember. That I also remember the music, because there was a lot of songs and a lot of hymns, and I'm like, to this day I still remember some of them. So I remember a lot of that growing up. I don't remember so much any talks of homophobia in Puerto Rico. I'm sure there was, but I do remember when I once became over here, at age like 8, and I want to say like maybe like age 11 is when like we started to like attend like Sunday mass, because we had like a local church, and I remember going in, and I love the architecture of a church. I'm
It's
like,
beautiful.
I've always loved how somber it feels in there, and almost like otherworldly in another sense. But I do remember the sermons then. I do remember the homophobia that was being spilled out, and I do remember like, you're gonna burn in hell.
Was it a mass in English or Spanish?
It was in Spanish, but I took some courses by another teacher, because I was doing my first communion in
Yeah.
all of that comes with in English. So the masses we attended were in Spanish because my mother and my grandmother are like going to the Spanish ones.
Hmm.
And again, I remember the sermons being not the nicest things to like gay people. And I don't think I had completely figured it out, but I know something
How
was
old are
definitely
you by
different.
then?
Uh 13, 14
So
age.
enough to know that what they're saying makes you feel uncomfortable because you're starting to feel certain
Yeah,
things
it
about your
definitely made me feel
sexuality.
uncomfortable, and it definitely made me internalize a lot of self-hate and wonder to myself like, wow, I am like an abomination. I am probably the worst thing. I am going to be the biggest disappointment to my parents, which is why I feel like it took me so long to even get to the point of coming out. And I mean, I didn't even come out. It was really my mom who confronted me.
Yeah.
But it made me not feel very good about myself. But I always go back to the music, and I always go back to like, I love the community that I created, and the friendships that as a kid growing up that I had developed as a child, that like we would go up to like Catholic, courses together, and then like we would go out and play. So I remember like creating a lot of friends through it. So like that was like the happy part of it. But I'm very torn in my experience because there was this sermons that they were like very heavy and like sin, sin, sin being preached down, and then there was like this music component which I adore and really
Yeah.
enjoyed.
And the music, for all intents and purposes, isn't like the message that you're getting in the sermon. It's like very
No,
light and fluffy. It's like
yes,
it's almost like you're around like a campfire and you're singing Kumbaya. It's really, I don't know how to
yeah,
describe it unless you've been to like a Spanish mass. It's just a lot of
yeah,
guitars, a
yes,
lot
a
of
lot of.
like,
So I remember that
yeah,
honestly, and then I remember in high school years. So one of my childhood friends, which I don't speak to anymore, she used to. I mean, her parents would go to church, and I would go with their family on some Sundays. But they were like Pentecostal at the time,
yeah.
and I remember if the pastor, I think is what they have, was shady as hell. And what I mean shady is he's reading the folks who are attending the mass like hooks on phonics.
Really?
He's like, oh yeah, he's like, oh, and I noticed that like sister blah 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 was painting her nails, and that's not allowed. And
Work.
I saw so and so in the mall, and they went wearing a skirt, and I'm like, and so didn't shave, and I'm like, we're talking about shaving and skirts, and I'm like, what are we doing now? I mean, this is the most, and again, I will hear more homophobia. You're a sin. It's horrible. So I'm again, it keeps creating this like hatred
Yeah.
for myself as I'm listening to this.
Oof.
But again, I have the other side where I'm like, I enjoy the music, and like I actually joined the little choir and started like singing in there, and I'm like, I enjoy that part of it. And I like the community, and I made like friends in that church as well. So there was like two super opposing sides of like feeling uncomfortable and like this sermon's doing the most. Like he is reading people like I'm like, this is a drag queen right here. Like Miss Thing is reading the entire church. But I look at it and I laugh now, but I would sit there horrified because I'm like, he's not even saying like, there's a sister in here. It was like Sister Rivera is. And I'm like, oh, we're doing names?
You're getting your best clergy drag and you're reading the dog piss out of Sister Rosa in the front row
Correct. I'm
here.
like, oh, we do this? We talk about people just like straight up like this? I'm like,
Wow.
that for me did not feel godly or felt of God. So I'm like, I even cringe to this day. I cringe at that because I'm just like, anyone who is spewing hate, I'm like, I don't know. Like, just because you have a cross in your neck or in your neck in your chest doesn't mean you've got God in your heart. So I'm like, crazy times, crazy times. But I'm kind of curious about like what's been your experience. I kind of talked about some of mine. Like, what's been
Well,
yours?
it's an interesting experience because it's not too dissimilar from you. We, when we're born, tradition has it that you get padrinos de agua, right?
Yeah.
So my great aunt Miriam, friend to the pod, she is my madrina. I don't know who my padrino is though.
Like you don't know him at all?
I don't know. I don't. I know I have to have one, but I don't know who it is because again, I was a baby
He's
and
not fulfilling
we
his
don't.
coins. He got to give you some
Well, I mean, he
coins.
could be dead for all I know. Then we were baptized when I was probably 10 years old in a church. And so my aunt Nancy is my madrina and her cousin Carlos is my padrino. I haven't seen Carlos in, geez, it's been probably close to a decade because
Oh
it's
wow.
extended family. Uh, I think the last time I saw Carlos is probably when my great grandmother passed away in like 2007, 2008. So it's been a minute. And my aunt Nancy, like, she's family, so I see her all the time. And so we had that. We had our first communion. We got confirmed, and I was confirmed in St. Patrick in the Catholic Church. But in order to do all those things, to get those sacraments, you have to go through all these classes, like you said. And so before even doing that, I joined a church choir in Hartford, and it was an Episcopal church choir. Episcopalians are, to me, just, it's like Christians, but like the only way that I can describe it are they're more accepting and affirming of queer people, of people that are different, because in their doctrine, it's like God loves all. So why am I going to sit here and judge you all? So I would go every Wednesday to choir practice, every Friday to choir practice for the boys' choir. And then on Sundays, I would attend Mass where I would sing in the choir and listen to the sermons. And it was all about how you should love thy neighbor as yourself, and or love yourself because life's hard. There would be all these different sermons depending on the type of year and the time of year, but the music was what I went for. But the music in an Episcopal church follows, or at least in mine, followed the Anglican repertoire of sorts. So like if you ever watch the funerals or the weddings of like royalty in England, the music that they're playing is the music I grew up singing.
Oh,
So there's a lot of times I'll be watching like when the Queen died, or when Prince William became married
was
Kate
coordinated.
Middleton,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's next in line, but
Yeah.
or even the coronation.
Yeah.
A lot of the music, I'm like, it's been decades since I've sung it, and as soon as it plays on, I'm like, I'm blasting it out because it's just so ingrained in me
Mm.
that it's just part of my DNA at this point. So I went for the music, but of course, being in the Catholic Church and my aunt and other family members wanted me to get confirmed, you have to go through these classes. And at this point, I was probably 14, 15 years old. So this is back in 1998. Going through those classes was hell for me for two reasons. One, you get to the point where you're so assimilated into American culture that you forget Spanish. That's not rudimentary. If it's not just surface level, hi, bye, how's it going? You start to get into terms that you don't know. To this day, I don't know what misericordia is. I don't know all these things. I hear the words and I'm like, okay, I got to go to Google and figure it out.
Yeah.
But resoundingly, the message was, you should be this way. This is how to be proper in the church. Men do this, women do this. And then you bring out your guitarra and all of a sudden it's like a happy hymn. And then the next reading would be this, that, and the third. And it would be interesting because both churches had the same scriptures they would read and they would interpret it in different ways. And so for me, the straw that broke the camel's back and why I decided that the Catholic Church was no longer for me was one day going through the classes to get confirmed. They kept being like, why are you showing up late? I would be like maybe 15 minutes late because Mass would end like at 11 o'clock in the Episcopal Church, and it was at one end of the street, and the Catholic Church was at the far end of the street. So basically, I would leave, put my choir robes in the closet, put my music away, and then book it down the street, which is like a mile and a half to, and I mean this without sincerity, like a mile and a half to the Catholic Church, and to get there to like get credit for showing up, essentially, because you couldn't just get confirmed without being there. So I got confronted by one of the people, like one of the teachers, and she was like, why are you late? And I was like, well, I'm in a choir at this other church. And she was like, what other church? And so I told her what was going on. And she goes, you shouldn't be doing that. And I was like, well, why not? She goes, because you belong to this church. And if you're going to be in any choir, you should be in this choir. She's doing this in Spanish. And I don't have the vernacular to tell her in Spanish what I really want to say. So I'm doing it in English and we're half understanding.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, in the Nicene Creed that we say every week in the Episcopal Church, it says, we believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. So if the Episcopal Church is saying that they believe in a Catholic Church, because we're all Christian, why is it the Catholic Church is telling me that I shouldn't be at that church? So the messaging it just wasn't working out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, okay, well, I'm not going to leave this church because I've got community here. I'm actually really good at what I did at the time there. And so I just wasn't willing to let that go.
Yeah.
And they were threatening not making me confirmed, all these things. And I had to get my aunt involved. And it was like, okay, this is,
So they were holding things
they were
against.
holding things against me essentially for not doing what they wanted to do. And the message that I got loud and clear was that if I'm not doing what they want their way, then I don't belong. And so I got confirmed and immediately was like, I know I don't belong here. We started hearing sermons about homophobia. You shouldn't do this. And the Bible says that. The Bible is very clear about this. You should honor thy mother and father, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all this is falling on deaf ears with me because it means nothing. I know that the church is homophobic, even though the word um, homosexual didn't appear in any Bible until maybe like the 40s. So it's to me, the Bible is the collection of stories that have been passed down from generation to generation. You choose to believe what you want to believe, but people have taken this book and have shunned so many people, have been bigoted towards groups of people, have been homophobic, all in the name of God and Jesus Christ, who I have to believe would never have wanted that for any one of us. God loves all, Jesus loves all, and yet your subjects are the ones that are perpetuating the biggest levels of hatred the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
And I will always say this: more people have died in the name of God than any other thing, person, period.
All these like wars were
Right.
based on people's belief
The
and put in.
Crusades to spread Christianity.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
It's to me, it's asinine to think that a book written by man is the word of God.
I know that always takes me back. I'm like, so the only proof that we have that this is the word is someone saying that it is. And I'm like, that always. I've been always in conflict with the words because I'm like, they were written by men. They're like, oh yeah, but it was God's word, and I'm like,
Yeah. But if you believe that,
yeah,
all power to you.
but then don't. Here's my, and I guess we'll get right into it. You can't just subscribe to the parts that work for you and the parts because like they'll say like, oh, I gotta follow the Bible for one thing, but then they're like,
but JP,
the Bible
that's how
also
humanity
says
works. They pick and choose whatever the fuck they want to demean someone else, but when it's about them, it's like, oh, this doesn't apply to me. I'm the good one.
Listen, your hate is not righteous because you attach a sermon to it.
That's
which is what they do. They literally will spew hate at you and be like, oh, but the sermon says this. And this.
You know how many times I've heard love the sinner, hate the sin?
That's like the biggest cop out I've ever heard.
Like I will say this, I have extended family. They're not, I don't even consider them really family. They're like people that my family has known forever.
Yeah.
Literally one of the girls at like 13 got like a tattoo near her cooch. And then later on in life was like, hate the sinner, not the sin. And I was like, weren't you the same bitch that got pregnant and had an abortion and got a tattoo by her? Like, let's not do this.
Correct.
I'm not here to judge you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
and
is,
you're not saying that in a judgmental. It's just like,
these are facts,
let's be,
first of all.
Correct.
So if we want to call a spade, these are facts.
Yeah.
You judging me for my sexuality is your opinion based on a word that you're interpreting one way.
Yeah. And the thing about like, oh, I'm just trying to save you by hating on me.
But
by
what gives you the right to
down?
try to save me? I don't fucking need saving. Save your fucking edges. How about that?
Not
those
your edges.
Divorced as ends. They're not split anymore. They're divorced.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I have struggled with the establishment of religion and not with finding like spirituality and having a connection to something that's bigger than me.
I love that you just said that because I was going to ask you, would you consider yourself religious or spiritual?
I will consider myself more spiritual because I feel that you do not need a church to have a connection with something that's bigger than you. And whether that's God, whether that's whatever you want to call that, whoever that is, you don't need an establishment to get that. And the fact that we sit here and we judge other people, or like, oh, he hasn't been going to church, and so hasn't been going to church. And I'm like, oh, and you have God in your heart, right? Because that sounds like a lot of love for
Can
your.
I just say this? A couple of years ago, my cousin's father passed away. And going through all of that was very rough for my family, especially my two cousins that had to deal with that basically by themselves. I remember right before the funeral, there's that wake, and it's an open casket, so you can see it. There's a priest that comes in and talks and whatever. And this guy is from our local Catholic church in Hartford. Young priest, very nice. But he took that as an opportunity to basically tell all of us that we should be going to church more, and that he doesn't recognize a lot of the faces in the room, and that the only times that he sees people are during like the major holidays or in times of like death, and we really need to be better. And in my mind I'm thinking like, you're using someone's death to preach that people should be doing what you want. First of all, you don't know what church I belong to. You don't know me from a can of paint. So you
Correct.
don't know what's going on in here, or with anyone for that matter.
Yeah.
So you not recognizing me is not a sign of anything other than you just don't know us.
Yeah.
So just leave it there.
Yeah.
But that's the point that you're making, is like, people will judge you for not showing up when there's a literal scripture verse that says that when two or more are gathered, you're basically at church. You don't need to be at a formal establishment for that. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't know the verse.
Yeah.
But it's you can look it up. People use religion as a way to control you. And I fucking hate that. Like, I'm not going to be controlled by that. Do we have free will or do we not?
Yeah. Listen, I love the church because I feel like it has a lot of beautiful traditions. But even like, I want to say even like earlier this year, maybe last year, when my uncle passed away, which by the way, funerals are very expensive. So after the funeral, my sister comes to me and she's like, "Oh, by the way, we have to," and this is what she said, "we have to hold this like almost like this prayer. I think it's like you have to say this prayer 12 times.
Novenario.
Novenario, that's what it is.
Yep. You do it for 9 days.
And we have to cook all this food and we have to do this and we have to do that. And I'm like, who are we doing this for? I mean, we just cover an entire funeral as a family because my uncle didn't leave any money.
Can I just real quick interrupt you? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what that means, a novenario, I'm hoping I'm saying it right, is a ritual that happens in Catholic culture. And I don't know if this happens in other cultures as well, or in other religions, but after someone dies for 9 days, I believe, I think that's what's called a novenario.
Yeah, because I think it's the amount of beads.
Right? You take the rosary and you pray the rosary from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 9 beads or 10 beads. And you say...
you are educated in religion. I love this for you.
But this is how we grew up. You say 10 Our Fathers, and then the one bead that separates the next 10 is a Hail Mary. And then you do it again until you pray the entire rosary, and then that's fine. But traditionally, you have food. It's like you have like refreshments.
Correct, but which is what I took issue with, because I was like, we just all collected money as a family to even get him transported from the States to Puerto Rico to then pay for a casket, to then pay for services. And then we have to, because the church says, do this and also provide food. I'm like, who are we doing this? Because it's not for my uncle who just passed away. I think we did a huge sacrifice. And the eyes that I got were like crazy. They're like, "Oh, we must be a child of Satan." And I'm like, I'm a child of Satan because I don't want to continue.
Demonio, JP, you are the devil.
I am.
How dare you question us?
I got called everything. And I'm like,
by your family?
Family and family friends, really, who like were like taken back. Like, what do you mean you guys don't want to do this? We just spent, I don't know if you noticed, and I'm like, we spent thousands of dollars just to get him here, thousands of dollars to get him a casket. And I'm just like, that was to me was crazy. And ultimately we ended up not doing it, and they did something smaller in the church. But like I said one thing, and it was like people were coming down my throat like I am like the biggest like Satan worshiper in the planet.
You are not allowed to question a tradition in the Catholic Church. Doing anything that might be deemed sacrilegious is of the devil. It's so apparent. That's why for me it's like, I respect that the church handles things certain ways in their traditions. I'm not here to disrupt that, but I'm also not looking to participate. The next time I will do a novenario is when my grandmother passes away. That it will be the only time I do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any other interests. For what? I mean, the first day or two, usually you get the biggest turnout.
Yeah.
And then every other day it dwindles down because people don't make time or space. There's so much other shit going on.
And it doesn't make it less important, or it's just like, oh, what, their soul's not going to go to heaven if you didn't pray the 12 times. I'm like, or 9 times. I'm like, that sounds, I'm sorry, ridiculous to me. What do you mean? God is going to judge them based on your prayers and not the life that this person did and the actions they took while they were here? I'm like, I'm sorry. So, and I feel like that's probably the biggest, I I don't want to say like con job, but it was like it's the biggest issue that I take with. It's just like the fact that you can't question anything, or you immediately become something that's not godly.
Well, you know me. You know how much I live for other people's judgment. Like, I don't care. I don't. This is why, like, again, I finance myself. I live my life. I don't have anyone holding a string over me. And if people want to be upset that I'm not following the Catholic Church's guidelines on whatever, first of all, I'm a gay man. You already hate me because of that.
I'm already going to hell, according
So,
to you.
so what am I here to try to do? Atone the way you want me to atone, so that you feel good. Like, I will never forget when I moved in with my aunt after my divorce. Um, she goes to church. She's more devout, I would say, um, or more regular than pretty much anyone else in the family. She was like, "Hey, the new pope, the American pope, is like okay with gay people. You should come to church." And I was like, "I'm good. Thank you, Pope, whatever your name is, but like I'm good.
Yeah,
Like I don't need to go to church. I don't care for your acceptance. I'm not here for your acceptance, right?
yeah,
I appreciate the sentiment, and I know that that makes a lot of gay Catholic people feel good. I'm not one of them.
yeah.
So, but at the same time, like I've been to Rome a couple times, and I've taken a selfie with two individual popes, with two individual popes.
She learned nothing in Catholic school.
Right?
Clearly not
No,
grammar.
100% no, because like it is what it. But I will say this,
Yeah.
right? I remember working professionally back in 2004. I was in a call center at a different company, and Pope John Paul II passed away, and learning about the process of selecting a new pope and how that goes. Like I love the pomp and circumstance. I love the rituals. I love
That's what I
seeing
said. I
that.
live for that.
I
I
just
live for the
love
garment.
learning
She
that
looks gorgeous in that garment. She
work.
is giving you like full queen.
Pope
Like,
realness.
yes, she is. I live. I'm like, I want to be the Pope. I mean, not that I have anything to
It
do in the
is
church.
such a beautiful
Yeah.
ritual, all things considered. And
Yeah.
I ended up going to the Sistine Chapel where all that takes place and
Yeah.
seeing the frescoes on the wall. And I took some video, even though I wasn't supposed to. I
Get
felt
him,
very
church. Get
privileged.
him. Drag
I
him.
got clocked the second time I
Oh,
went through.
did
Oh,
you?
100%. I like ran out because I was like, I'm not going to jail for these hoes. But it
And
was
Vatican
it was so
City.
beautiful to
Yeah.
be there and to see that. But do I subscribe to the religion? No. Here's what I will say, because there's always a debate on whether or not God is real. What do you think? I would consider myself spiritual. I say a prayer when I feel like I need to. I talk
Mhm.
to God on my terms, not on anyone else's. But I've always been the kind of person to believe that God is the answer to who did it, and science is the answer to how they did it.
I mean, they conflict a lot.
But I also don't say he, I say they.
Yeah. I mean,
Because in
to me,
Spanish
they're,
culture, in our culture, he's called Papa Dios, and I say he's called because they call him he, and
yeah.
it's Papa Dios.
Yeah.
You as a kid, you learn about God by calling him the Father. He's your Father.
Yeah.
He's the Father, and you hear God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of misogyny in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misogyny in the Catholic Church.
I mean, yeah, they only have a male leader.
I mean, you talk about the Pentecostal people being like, you didn't wear a skirt, you didn't shave your legs. Why are women's bodies so policed in certain religions?
And I'm like, and you're certainly not going to heaven for judging. That's what I wanted to get out there. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I
Who
don't
made
know.
you the church police over here?
And I don't even know enough about the Pentecostal faith, the Baptist faith. I don't know anything about, the Muslim faith. I don't know much. I just hear things and I'm like, I don't want to even understand it. I keep it super surface level because the running theme for me is anytime I go beyond the surface level, it's about control. And now the fucking video just turned off. Y no sé por qué.
It's so
So
good.
just like the last episode,
We
you're
have to
not
stitch
getting a
it.
video.
Or we're getting some of it.
We're getting some of it.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, I mean, end result is it's about control. It's about giving up the right to your own body and doing things like procreating because that's what God's will is.
Yeah.
Gay people are shunned because thou shalt not lie with a man as one lies with a woman, otherwise you're an abomination. Men cannot procreate, so you cannot, be fruitful and multiply if you're gay, and so you're the devil because of it. And what I say to that is fuck all that, because like there are so many instances of homosexuality,
Yeah.
not just in the human species, but in so many animal species that predate
Yeah.
religion. That what are we fucking doing?
Yeah.
This is all
I
made
I
up.
also dislike people who, like, they're going back and forth on somebody and, like, they end with, like, "We'll find God." And I'm like, almost to just, like, dismiss you, and I'm just like, "How about you act like it? How about you show some love? How about you show some, like, empathy?" That's God to me.
Yeah,
What do you mean find God? Like, as if, like,
like that's a read.
yeah, so it's like they use it in that sense, and I'm just like, so rather than to act, because we're all supposed to be like a vessel of God, and we all carry inside Him. So instead of like acting with love and compassion, what we're gonna do is go find them and go away. That's how we're saving.
That's what I'm not doing.
I don't know. I struggle with the sense of God as a whole, and you can cancel me if you want, because if He is like all good and all powerful, then why do we have all this like disasters and so much pain? Like it bothers me to my core that it's like, well, these are all tests. And I'm like, but why are we being tested? Did anyone ask like where was the need? If he's so perfect or they are so perfect, why wouldn't you just create perfection?
I mean, I think the answer that you will get from some people is God made us in quote His image, but He gave us free will. So,
And that's the sin part.
but also like your life is predetermined by God. It's like I don't know what to believe at any point. So,
If it's God's will, then why are the kids being allowed to be shot at in schools?
well, this goes back to
Like
like
what's and cancel me if you want.
you hear the oh, why are you trans? Just why don't you accept what God gave you? But then you put on a pair of glasses and is that not the same thing? You're blind as fuck.
Yeah.
So just accept what
Like
God gave you,
correct.
right?
It's
I
it
fixed my teeth
it's
because I had a
very
gap in it.
hypocritical. There's too many hypocritical stories and hypocritical teachings
Mm-hmm.
that, like I said, I feel like everyone takes whatever verse in the Bible fits their narrative. And I also hate this. The
Word.
fact that there is the word conservative, Christian. Why is the word conservative before Christian?
You don't really hear about liberal Christians because liberal Christians are the people that actually love and care for the Dolly Partons of
If
the world.
it's like, why don't we focus on the godly part? And why does it have to be conservative in front of it?
I'm so
Because
fed
it's
up with the argument of I should be a certain way to make you comfortable when you're allowed under the veil of Christianity to act like a complete fucking buffoon.
yeah, and to hate and to literally spill hate and call it righteous, and that you're trying to save me.
At the end of the day, if all of this is real and we are going to be called to judgment,
Yeah,
I have to hope and imagine that God would look at your life
yeah,
or whoever looks at your life and determines that based on a series of kind acts or things that you've done that they deem as good, that you'll be given keys to the kingdom of heaven. But like on the reverse side,
who wants to live in constant fear? Because I feel like that's what we do. We fingermonger with religion. We do this and we hold people to these sometimes crazy standards that I'm
yeah.
just like,
Well, I think it's because people think that they are going to live an eternal life by doing things God's way and God's way only. I mean, I have a friend that lives in Texas who recently came out as gay. And while I feel like I've known this person to be gay forever, and maybe they have as well, what I've learned is that religion has controlled the way that they act. And so what I've learned from this person is that they knew they were gay. They had the feelings, but they never acted on it because it was against the religion to act on it. And then they kind of had this like awakening where it was like, no, God has made me perfectly, and so why am I not acting on who I truly am? I don't know that there's an afterlife, and so what am I not going to enjoy the life that I was given for the potential promise of an afterlife? No,
yeah,
I'm just going to enjoy my life now.
correct,
And that's
correct.
kind of the mindset that
And,
I
and you
have.
live with intention. And I'm like, feel that I'm generally good to people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I mentioned in other episodes, I lead with love. That's what I want to be remembered. I
Which is the
make it
most Christian thing to do.
correct. I'm like, I love on people and I make sure that I put my best, foot forward for folks. So I'm just like, I don't understand why me loving another human being is that's the part that I think gets to me. So I'm gonna show up to heaven, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, you loved him. I mean, you were really great, but since the fact that you love another person, that's why you didn't make it into heaven."
You know what's
That
interesting?
sounds crazy to me.
When I got divorced the first time, I moved away to New London and I met my second husband. And he's Catholic,
Yeah.
or at least was raised Catholic, Irish Catholic. And I had been in my Episcopal church, I'd been in my Catholic church, but he decided at one point to leave all of that. And sorry, I just want to make sure it was still recording. He's decided to leave all of that and join a Unitarian Universalist church. And at
I
first,
don't even know what
I
that
was
is.
like, I've never heard of that. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? I noticed a couple of things in New London, and I can only speak for New London, although I suspect this is probably common in churches pretty much everywhere. There's not a ton of people attending these days. They have an issue with attendance because people just aren't going to church.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of churches are being closed down. But this universal Unitarian Universalist church, I think it's called, had such like their attendance rate was so fucking high. Like hundreds of people would show up in a giant room, and I was like, this doesn't feel like church. It doesn't look like church. But why are people drawn to this? They had a Jewish person speak on a Sunday, a Catholic person speak on another Sunday. They had different people representing different religions that would come and speak to the
So it's
congregation.
literally like a melting pot of religion.
Yeah, and there would be hymns that were being sung in one language or another, Catholic hymns, Episcopal hymns. Like there were some of the songs that I'm like, oh, I know this, and then some of the songs I'm like, why am I singing Shabbat Shalom, which is a Jewish hymn of sorts,
Yep.
in a Unitarian Universalist church, and their doctrine is like love, be a human, give back to the community, build community, all of that. And I told myself, like, I remember judging it at one point, being like, but that's not real, God's not there. And I'm like, no, this is the place where God is probably the most, and why it resonates so well with people. When Prince died, that next Sunday, the entire service was about Prince, and I thought to myself, this is so weird but so cool, because Prince's music brought people together.
Yeah.
I've never attended services like that in traditional churches, and it made me feel like if I were ever going to step back into a religion of any sort, or any type of anything that was organized, it would have to be in a setting like that, or otherwise I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I feel similar to that, and I will also think that, because I keep hearing like, can we teach like religion in schools? And I'm like, only if you're gonna teach all of them, only if it's there, you're gonna make them all available. Because I mean, don't just say you're gonna have like Christian, that being taught, or Jewish, or whichever. Like, if you're gonna make them all available, sure, and folks can select where they want to opt in and opt out. Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
it's
Do it.
just not a reality in
Do
the
it.
States.
That's all. It's just,
especially here, especially in the Bible Belt in the South. Like, they want the division of church and state to go away.
bless your heart.
Put the
And
Ten
I'm like,
Commandments in every
that's a
classroom.
read in the South.
Yeah, I mean,
Bless your heart. And I'm like, oh Jesus.
bless your heart disease.
Yeah. I'm gonna pray for you. Praying for me is not enough.
You know what? Pray for me. That's fine. I'll accept it.
But it's not enough to just say that. That to me always bothers me. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you tonight.
Okay, I will take it. Thank you so much.
Like, what?
But
But it just seems so very just like, go away.
It's judgy.
Go away. It's what I'm hearing. When I hear like, find God, I'm gonna pray for you, is like, go away.
Yeah, I found God. I suggest you do the same. For every story like that, I also think of the times where I feel like I've been connected to God, where God has literally answered a prayer for me. And I'm like, I have to imagine there is a higher power that is listening, or at least putting energy into the universe to give me the things that I desperately need when I desperately need them. I'm not just asking for willy-nilly things. It's always like in times of strife where I'm just like, I'm at my wit's end. I really need, like, I'll use this for an example, right? Maybe about a week ago, when my pain was at its most, I was like, I've got two options here. Either go to the ER or just sit in bed and cry. I decided not to go to the ER, but I also didn't sit in bed and cry. I literally said a silent prayer, and I was like, God, if you are there and you're listening, if it's my dad, if it's any one of my ancestors listening, I have pain right now that I cannot bear. Can you please just let it subside, if even for an hour, so that I can get some relief and get some sleep? And then the pain went away.
Mm.
And I thought to myself, okay, if there is a higher power or a God, they listened, it went away,
Yeah.
and I haven't been in that much pain since.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So there have been times in my life where I'm like, I need things.
Yeah.
I don't really pray for what I need, but when I do need it bad enough, I feel like the universe comes out in a way that helps me out.
Yeah. And I feel like if you put good things into the world, good things come back to you. I
back.
do believe in some sort of like, I guess, call it karma,
Sure.
call it good will. But I do believe like if you show up in life and you're like good to the people around you and you're like generally a good human being, that I feel like that always comes back to you. And that's the way I live. It's more
agree
about
with that.
about that. Can we pivot? Because I know we've been like going down on the church, on like the beautiful like music. And every Christmas season, I listen to so much, including Miss Mariah, because that is Mariah's season. It's not Kylie's season, although she does have Christmas album.
Hey, you said it, not me.
But there are so many beautiful hymns and songs, and just generally Christmas songs.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I
What's
instantly put,
and I'm so sad that this is
Silent Night is between Silent Night and what's the one that goes, fall on your knees, hear the angel voices. What's
Holy
that?
Night.
Oh, Holy Night. Between those two, because there is something that every time I've heard it sung live, that stops me in my tracks.
Who does your favorite version of it?
Celine Dion.
Same.
Celine Dion. I mean, like
Celine's version of A Holy Night kills me.
I got goosebumps with it right now. When she sings that, I do not know. God is coming through her.
Yeah.
Like I can't describe it. Like
there are some people that
heavenly is coming through. Yeah. Like literally. I
agree.
There's never been any Christmas that I don't listen to it, and it's just something in me, and it just makes me feel good. And I'm like I love like music, and Christmas is one of those times where I'm finding myself listening to all these beautiful Christmas songs that really originate from religion or the institution, I guess is what you would say. Absolutely. Like, so I'm like, I love that part of like religion. And
I agree with those two specifically. Those are top 5 for me. There's a song that is well known in the Episcopal community. It's anytime there's a Christmas Eve service in the Anglican faith, one chorister, one choir boy leads the procession into, I guess where they sit, I forget what it's called, but he will sing a song called Once in Royal David City. And it's kind of an honor to be chosen as a soloist to do that.
Yep.
And one year at church, I got to do that. And that was the one year that my family showed up because I never came to anything I did.
Really?
Especially in the church. And I remember...
Were they not religious?
They just never went to the Episcopal church.
Oh, they went to the other church then.
So we would process. You have to go down the middle and then corner, so you go all around the entire church. And I remember going all around, and they were sitting in the corner on the side, on the like the left hand side. So I remember singing, and I look and I see them, and you're not supposed to like turn or break character or anything. You're supposed to keep going. And I was already nervous because, of course, like it's a big deal.
Everyone's literally watching
you. I saw my aunt and my cousins and people there, and I was just like,
oof. I'm sure that was a moment.
Completely gagged. I will never forget that for as long
Core
as
memory.
But I sounded the fuck good. JP,
I love that.
I wish I had recordings of my voice when I was younger.
Yeah.
Between the ages of like, I would say 10 and maybe like 14.
Because your range was probably like that.
Oh, my range was crazy.
Right? Because that's what you're young.
What you hear Ariana Mariah doing, I could absolutely do that hands down.
See?
But I also had deeper register as well.
Yeah.
So I could do that, no holds barred. Like I had a really sweet tone, and I just don't have that anymore. And then my voice changed when I was like 13, 14 years old, and now it's just like I don't use it.
And now you're the voice.
No, I wouldn't even say I have a good voice now. No. Like Colin will say, Anthony, you don't give yourself credit. Like you sound good, and I know that. But like what I used to be versus where I am now, two different human beings.
Yeah, because your voice changes as a.
But my core memories, my biggest memories, are always singing the Hallelujah chorus for Easter.
Ooh, Hallelujah!
I know every part to that entire
such a good piece. So many songs. I'm like, I can just
and all the Christmas anthems, A Veces Fideles, O Come On Faithful, Silent Night for sure. We never sing O Holy Night in church.
Oh my god, O Holy Night is like,
but I love that
she's
song.
that girl for me. And especially in a big church with like how the sound literally bounces off, and
Yeah.
it's just like
The
there is
acoustics are great,
something
right?
mystical, and I'm just like, I don't know what's with this song, but it starts me on my track every time,
Yeah.
every
Hearing
time.
an organ just play,
Oh my god.
it just
I
moves
also
me.
love all the plays because I would go to a lot of like,
See, I never did that.
oh, I love going to a Passion of the Christ, and they would do that, doing
Never did that.
what is that week that they do?
The Easter week, the Holy
Easter
Week.
week, correct. Like I remember going as a family and just like seeing the story that's being told and the acting and the music and like all of that is the stuff that I'm just like I carry with me, and I feel like
You
that's
love the
what
theater of it.
brings me. Yes, but I feel like that's like my connection because I feel like I
Yeah,
like music and I feel like I
of course.
enjoy gospel music, and there's like some Spanish gospel singers that I'm just like I remember from my uncle's funeral, like there's this specific song. I'm blanking on the name of the song, but like I always he listen to that song, and it's just a very gospel song, but it's just like the connection that it instantly brings. So
Yeah,
I'm
of
like
course.
between like community, music, um, that's the stuff that I like creates a connection with me with whatever like higher being. Because I do believe there's a higher being. I don't like to just call him padre or like to you. It's like genderless to me.
Yeah,
Um, and it's not the God that people like this very like vengeful, angry, like you gotta follow my rules type of like force. I feel like this is a loving, I'm watching out for you. I'm here.
yeah,
Like call out like that's the force that when I say spiritual, I like with good intention, like the goodness of the world,
of course.
is what I attach to like a higher being and not
Yeah.
this individual that's like just sometimes like a villain to me. I'm just like, if this is the God that you were talking about, he's not all good because he's acting like a
And
main
it
villain.
depends on who you talk to. People have
Correct.
different
Correct.
views of God. And so, like, for me, like, my God would never do that. Your God does. It just is what it is. We're at an
Yeah.
impasse. We
Yeah.
can't, I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change mine.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say, though. I went to Paris the week of Christmas in 2017. And after having dinner at my favorite restaurant in Paris, Le Procope, me and my second ex-husband decided we just wanted to wander around the city, and we ended up going to Notre Dame for Christmas Eve service.
What?
And when I tell
Core
you
memory.
the I can still smell the incense that they used. And
Yep.
that is you've been there, right?
Yeah.
It's a giant cathedral.
It's
This is
beautiful.
before it burned down.
It's beautiful.
The organs playing, literally my ears hurt so badly from how loud and rumbly it was. But I took video of it. I have to have it somewhere. I will never forget how I felt just being there and just hearing the service in French, hearing the hymns in French that I know in English, and just feeling the energy in the room made me feel like I was more connected to God than ever before in my life.
Yeah.
And I've never felt that way, I would say, since. But I don't feel like I need to do religion according to someone else's prescription. I do it the way I do it, and that's my connection to God. Period. It's through the music.
So as we are wrapping up here, because I
Okay.
want to make sure that we're keeping to our time.
Sure.
What are like kind of your final thoughts on like religion and anything that you would, if anyone's asking about like your relationship with religion, like where do you sit today?
I'd say mind your business. Religion is personal to me, but I don't believe myself to be religious. I would say I'm more spiritual. And like I said before, my thoughts are that God is the answer to who, and science is the answer to how they did it.
And you're gonna be canceled for that. No,
So what? If you want to
that's
find
the
me,
truth.
come outside.
Correct.
It's very easy to
How
find me.
about it?
It's so easy to
Yeah,
find me.
yeah.
What about you?
I second that. I feel like if it's not coming with love, and if it's not coming with empathy, and if it's not coming with support, um, I do not see people who spew hate and attach a verse of the Bible as godly, um, and as a someone in the gay community, it's very discouraging to hear folks because I feel like that's what keeps people away from having even a relationship like intimately with him or they go back and forth. Um, is hearing all the hate that gets spewed and how words are used to really just create hurt.
To hurt.
Yeah, to really hurt. So
That's why I don't give those words power. I don't
yeah,
pay attention to them. I know
yeah,
they're there, but
yeah.
fuck them.
They used to like before, I remember in my 20s when someone would make a comment and use, a specific verse from the Bible that used to affect me.
Yeah.
But now, to your point, like I feel like I have a relationship with whatever it is that's beyond you and I in this world,
Yeah.
um, personally. And to your point also earlier, like I do cry out to it, in my times of need, but also like I wake up being grateful, and I also start my days with like I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful for what I'm gonna be able to do, and like so it's just like it's very personal to everybody, and I don't want to discourage people to have a personal relationship and stop listening to like whatever the establishment is saying and just live a life with purpose and good intent and like love. And I feel like you go if the being who sits up there, you meet him one day and he's gonna judge you on who you love, then
Then so be it.
so be it. So be it. But like, do your best now while you're here. Like, don't worry about
Agreed.
so much about what's next. Worry about like being in real time the best individual that you could be in this world.
Very, very well said. And on that note, thank you everyone for listening and watching part of this podcast. I have to apologize. I don't know what happened. We talked about it just before we started filming, but I
Yeah.
did delete the video, so I don't know what happened, but the
Yeah.
video shut off, as you can probably see if you're watching.
So we'll have
So I
partial
will
video at least.
figure it out for next week
Yeah.
as well. But thanks again for listening. The Spill the Cafecito podcast, and we will see you next week.
That's right. And check out our YouTube channels, Instagram, TikTok.
YouTube.
Correct.
Everywhere where podcasts are streamed.
That's right. But see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.